This is Catholic Challenge, a quiz show that tests your knowledge of the Catholic faith. From altar to zealot and amice to wimple, we've got the questions to test your mettle. Take up your shield and raise your sword. It's time to stand firm in the glory of the Lord. Are you up to the challenge? Catholic Challenge 2.0 is here. Are you ready? And now, here is your host, Barbara G.
Hello and welcome to Catholic Challenge 2.0, an exclusive production of the Living Bread Radio Network. I'm your host, Barbara G., and with me today is my co-host, PJ Chavez. Great to see you again, PJ.
Great to see you, Barb. Great to see you.
Okay, listeners, we are going to spend the next 30 minutes testing your knowledge of the Catholic faith. I hope you're up to the challenge. Before we start, we have to know the rules. So, PJs, let's give our listeners the rules.
Absolutely. Here are the rules. We will ask 10 multiple-choice questions in the first 3 rounds. Each correct answer is worth 10 points. For classroom, homeschooling, or team play, you can download our free scoring sheet at livingbreadradio.com. Now, the fourth and final round is the challenge round. This round increases the difficulty since no multiple-choice answers will be provided, and each correct answer in that round is worth 30 points.
All right, now you have the rules. Let's begin. Round 1 starts right now. Question number 1. Saint Cecilia, an early martyr, is often pictured with a harp or an organ. Is she the patron saint of young women, music, or brides? And the answer is music. Legend has it that while musicians played at her wedding, she sang in her heart only to God. And her feast day is November 22nd. True or false? Before the fall, Adam and Eve had the gift of immortality. True or false? And the answer is true. We would all have had the gift of immortality from our first parents if it were not for their fall. Question number 3. In the book of Genesis, who came to visit Abraham in his tent? Was it angels from God, Moses, or traders? The correct answer is angels from God. These angels knew Sarah's name and predicted that she would bear a son within a year. Question number 4. Sacraments are made of form and matter. The matter of the sacrament of confirmation is which of the following? Water, oil, or bread? And the answer is oil. And the form is the words, "Be sealed with the gift of the Holy Spirit." Question number 5. The word Eucharist means what? Salvation, thanksgiving, or bread? The answer is thanksgiving. At the Last Supper, Jesus gave thanks for the bread and for the chalice as he instituted the Eucharist. The Greek word Eucharistio means to give thanks.
Question number 6. In which book of the Bible does St. Michael battle Satan and his evil angels? Is it Genesis, Exodus, or Revelation? And the answer is Revelation. In the initial battle between Michael and his angels against the dragon and his angels, the dragon was not strong enough, so he hurled down to earth and all his angels with him. Question number 7. The solemnity of the Assumption of the Blessed Virgin Mary into heaven is celebrated on which day? Is it November 1st, August 15th, or September 15th? And the answer is August 15th. In many countries outside the US, the Assumption is still a public holiday with processions and fireworks. Question number 8. Who spoke to Moses from the burning bush? Was it God, Isaac, or an angel? And the answer is God. We read in the book of Exodus that it was from the burning bush that God stunned Moses with the assignment to lead the Israelites out of Egypt. Question number 9. True or false? The word creed comes from the Greek word for I believe. And the answer is false. That was a bit of a trick question. Creed is actually the Latin word for I believe, not the Greek word. Question number 10. Who would become known for owning a coat of many colors? Was it Joseph, Isaac, or Aaron? And the answer is Joseph. Joseph's coat of many colors was a gift from his father. It made his brothers very jealous.
All right, that wraps up round 1. Got to watch out for those trick questions there, PJ. Okay, we're going to take our first break. But before we take our break, we're going to leave you with a bonus question. And the bonus question is worth 25 points. So here's the bonus question. There are multiple choirs or levels of angels. They are all united in praising and worshiping God. How many choirs of angels are there? We'll give you the answer on the other side of the break. You're listening to Catholic Challenge 2.0 on the Living Bread Radio Network.
It's one of a kind, and it's available anywhere, anytime. From sacred hymns to contemporary favorites, it's great Catholic music. Listen at greatcatholicmusic.com. Download the free app or ask any Alexa-enabled device to play great Catholic music. Draw closer to our Lord through beautiful music. It's the perfect way to listen at home with your family, at work, in the car, or during your daily devotions. Bless your day with great Catholic music.
All right, welcome back to Catholic Challenge 2.0 on the Living Bread Radio Network. We just got back from our first break, and we left you with a bonus question before the break. Now we're going to give you the answer.
All right, here's the question. There are multiple choirs or levels of angels. They are all united in praising and worshiping God. How many choirs of angels are there? And the answer is 9. Each of these levels of choirs of angels has a special status and special powers.
All right, hope you got that question right. If you got it right, you got 25 bonus points. And don't forget, you can download our free scoring sheet at livingbreadradio.com, whether you're playing alone or with friends or classroom setting. Okay, let's get to round 2. Here's your first question, round 2. When Saul journeyed to Damascus, he was struck down and blinded by a great light from heaven. How long did he remain blind? Was it 3 days, 1 week, or 1 month? And the answer is 3 days. From Acts chapter 9, it says, "For 3 days he was blind and did not eat or drink anything." Question number 2. According to church teaching, which of the following is sometimes morally permissible? Is it war, suicide, or abortion? And the correct answer is war. The Catechism of the Catholic Church lays out the conditions for a just war in paragraph 2309. Suicide and abortion are never just. Question number 3. According to the book of Exodus, where did Moses receive the 10 Commandments? On Mount Sinai, Mount Moriah, or the Mount of Beatitudes? And the answer is Mount Sinai. The list of 10 commandments is slightly different in the book of Exodus and Deuteronomy. The Catholics lean more towards the list in Deuteronomy. Question number 4. After the death of Moses, he led the Israelite tribes in the conquest of Canaan and allocated the land to the tribes. Is it Aaron, Joshua, or Samuel? And the answer is Joshua. The book of Joshua tells how the Lord is with Joshua as he was with Moses, especially when crossing the Jordan River, which is patterned after the crossing of the Red Sea. Question number 5. A saint whose writings have provided great teaching to the church is called what? A desert father, doctor of the church, or minor prophet? And the answer is doctor of the church. The 2 saints named most recently as doctors of the church are Saint Alphonsus Liguori and Saint Therese of Lisieux.
Question number 6. The 7th commandment forbids which of the following? Is it stealing, idolatry, or coveting? And the answer is stealing. According to the Catechism of the Catholic Church 2424, the 7th commandment is thou shalt not steal. In line with this commandment, making profit the exclusive end of business is morally unacceptable. Question number 7. The 3rd Sunday of Advent is called, is it Corpus Christi, Trinity Sunday, or Gaudete Sunday? And the answer is Gaudete Sunday. The name comes from the first word of the introit at Mass, Gaudete, which means rejoice. Question number 8. The word parousia refers to, is it nativity, baptism by fire, or the second coming of Christ? The answer is the second coming of Christ. The Catholic Church focuses on the need for living the gospel so as to be prepared for the parousia whenever it happens. Only God knows when it will happen. Question number 9. True or false? Before Lazarus died, Jesus had gone to his home at the request of his sisters. And the answer is false. Jesus arrived at the home of Lazarus 4 days after he died. But when Jesus called him, Lazarus came out of the tomb. Glory to the Father. Question number 10. To deliberately kill an innocent human being is the sin of, is it violence, hate, or murder? And the answer is murder. From the Catechism of the Catholic Church 2258, no one can under any circumstance claim for himself the right directly to destroy an innocent human being. That covers the time period from conception to natural death.
All right, that wraps up round 2. I have to watch you for those trick questions there, PJ.
Yes,
all right.
yes.
We're going to take our second break, listeners. Hope you're doing well. Here's a way to gain some more points. We're going to leave you with a bonus question as we go to break. And here's our bonus question worth 25 points. Which commandment forbids taking God's name in vain? Which commandment? Okay, we'll give you the answer when we come back. You're listening to Catholic Challenge 2.0 on the Living Bread Radio Network.
For 15 years, the Living Bread Radio Network has been proclaiming the truth of Jesus Christ, and our programs, podcasts, and videos have connected with you and countless numbers of the faithful in Northeast Ohio and around the world. Each day, we continue our commitment to share the gospel message, and we count on you to make that happen. Your support is invaluable and makes a difference. Go to livingbreadradio.com and click the donate button. Be part of the next 15 years at livingbreadradio.com. And thanks.
Okay, welcome back to Catholic Challenge on the Living Bread Radio Network. We're moving right along here. We just took our second break, and we're going to move into round 3. But before we move into round 3, we gave you a bonus question before we went to break. So, PJ, let's give him the answer.
Absolutely. Which commandment forbids taking God's name in vain? The answer is the second commandment. You shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain. The second commandment forbids the abuse of God's name, which includes every improper use of the names of God, Jesus Christ, but also the Virgin Mary and all the saints. The common expression is, "Oh my God," typically falls into this category.
Yes, sir. Okay. We are going to move into round 3 now. 10 points for each correct answer in this round. Round 3 starts right now. Question number 1. Jesus performed his first public miracle at the city of Cana. What was happening there? A wedding, a baptism, or a flood? The answer is a wedding. The miracle at the wedding feast of Cana is the second luminous mystery of the Rosary. Question number 2. These books of the Bible, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, are included in the category of the books of what? The law, prophecy, or history? The correct answer, the law. The other 2 books of the law are Genesis and Deuteronomy. Question number 3. Which Old Testament character showed his faith by being willing to sacrifice his son on an altar to God? Was it Jacob, Moses, or Abraham? The answer, Abraham. Abraham was heartbroken by what God had asked him to do, but he obeyed. We are all called to obedience to God's will. Question number 4. The Easter season is 50 days long. Which feast day ends the Easter season? Is it Pentecost, Trinity Sunday, or the Ascension? And the answer, Pentecost. Since the date of Easter changes every year, so does Pentecost. The earliest possible date for Pentecost Sunday is May 10th, and the latest is June 13th. Question number 5. What was kept in the Holy of Holies? The Ark of the Covenant, the Bible, or Veronica's veil? And the answer is the Ark of the Covenant. The Ark of the Covenant contained the 2 stone tablets on which the 10 Commandments had been inscribed by God, a jar of manna, and Aaron's rod.
All right, question number 6. The Blessed Virgin Mary was conceived without original sin. What doctrine proclaims this? Is it the Assumption, Immaculate Conception, or the Nativity? And the answer is the Immaculate Conception. Many people think the Immaculate Conception relates to Jesus, but it actually refers to the conception of Mary without stain of original sin. Question number 7. What Old Testament prophet was caught up to heaven in a whirlwind instead of suffering death? Was it Amos, Elijah, or Jeremiah? And the answer is Elijah. From 2 Kings. As they walked on conversing, a flaming chariot and flaming horses came between them, and Elijah went up to heaven in a whirlwind. Question number 8. This is a liturgical head covering worn by popes, cardinals, and bishops. It is a folding 2-piece stiffened cap of silk or linen, often richly ornamented in gold embroidery. Is it a cruet, a paten, or a mitre? And the answer is a mitre. The right to wear the mitre belongs by law only to the Pope, the cardinals, and the bishops. Others require a special papal privilege for its use. Question number 9. Saint Jerome produced an accurate translation of the Bible in Latin from the original languages. This became the official translation for the Church for over 1,000 years. What is it called? Is it the King James Bible, the Septuagint, or the Vulgate? And the answer is the Vulgate. The Vulgate is not identified as the official Bible of the Catholic Church, especially because there are other rites that do not use Latin. Question number 10. Which liturgical season recalls the time when Jesus was tempted by the devil in the desert? Is it Advent, Ordinary Time, or Lent? And the answer is Lent. On the first Sunday of Lent, we start our 40 days of prayer and fasting with the Gospel of Mark, telling us the story of Jesus' temptation in the desert.
Okay, moving right along, that wraps up round 3. We're getting ready to take our final break, and we'll be doing the challenge round on the other side of the break. But before we go to break, we're going to give you a bonus question, and that bonus question is worth 25 points. Here's the question. What day is celebrated as the birthday of the Catholic Church? We'll give you the answer when we come back. You're listening to Catholic Challenge 2.0 on the Living Bread Radio Network.
St. Jerome said, "Ignorance of Scripture is ignorance of Christ." That's why the Living Bread Radio Network opens up the Scriptures each and every day with their podcast, Liturgy of the Word. You'll hear the daily Mass readings and reflection along with sacred liturgical music. Stay in touch with the Church with Liturgy of the Word podcast. Subscribe for free or listen directly from the Living Bread Radio app or at livingbreadradio.com. You can even ask Alexa to play Liturgy of the Word.
Welcome back to Catholic Challenge 2.0 here on the Living Bread Radio Network. Before we went to break, we left you with a bonus question, and the bonus question is worth 25 points. PJ, let's give our listeners the answer.
All right, here it is. What day is celebrated as the birthday of the Church? And the answer is Pentecost. It is called the birthday of the Church because this is when the apostles went out among the people and began spreading Jesus' message, thus establishing the beginning of the Church.
Okay, that question was worth 25 points. Now we're going to move into the challenge round. And PJ, let's give folks the rules for the challenge round. So a little bit different.
All right, here are the rules for the challenge round. Now the fourth and final round is the challenge round. This round increases the difficulty since no multiple choice answers will be provided, and each correct answer in that round is worth 30 points.
Okay, here we go. Are you ready? Up to the challenge round. Here's question number 1. Who is the mother of the Blessed Virgin Mary? And the answer is Saint Anne. And Saint Joachim is her father.
Question number 2. How many psalms are in the book of Psalms in the Old Testament? And the answer is 150. The majority of the psalms were composed originally precisely for liturgical worship.
Question number 3. What is the name of the prayer that the Blessed Virgin Mary proclaimed to her cousin Elizabeth? And the answer is the Magnificat. The Church prays the Magnificat every evening as part of the divine office.
Question number 4. In Luke chapter 2, we read the story of the birth of Jesus. Who were the first people to hear of the birth of Jesus? And the answer is the shepherds. A multitude of angels appeared to them to share the good news.
Question number 5. What word is not used in the liturgy during the season of Lent? Normally, it is sung before the gospel. And the answer is Alleluia. Alleluia is a joyful word. It means praise Yahweh. We resume our joyful Alleluias at the Easter Vigil Mass. That sound means time's up. Last question.
All right, here's the last question. This 14-foot-long cloth bears the image of a crucified man. It is thought to be the burial cloth of Jesus. And the answer is the Shroud of Turin. This relic is housed in a cathedral in Turin, Italy, in a climate-controlled case. It is publicly displayed only on rare occasions.
All right, that wraps up our match. Listeners, hope you were up to the challenge today. Hope you scored well. Hope you had fun. We had fun bringing you the questions today. Remember, we learn new things every day about Jesus and His church, and if you keep listening to Catholic Challenge 2.0, you'll learn something new every time. Thanks for joining us today, and join us next time for another edition of Catholic Challenge 2.0 on the Living Bread Radio Network. Don't forget, you can play on your smart speaker too. Google or Alexa, just say, play Catholic Challenge podcast, and it'll go out and find it for you and play it. Join us again next time. For my co-host PJ Chavez, I'm Barbara G. Thanks for joining us. Praise be Jesus Christ.
You've been listening to Catholic Challenge 2.0, a production of the Living Bread Radio Network in Canton, Ohio. For a podcast or archive of this program, go to livingbreadradio.com and join us next week for another edition of Catholic Challenge 2.0.